Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Breaking news. Chelsea Football Club have sacked our manager, or now our ex-manager. Thomas Tuchel is no longer the manager of Chelsea Football Club. This news has literally just broken 45 seconds before I turn this camera on. I am shocked by this. I'm baffled in the sense of it's a shock to the system in terms of what we were kind of buckling ourselves in for under new ownership. Under Todd Boehly's guidance, with Todd Boehly as the owner, I thought Tuchel was going to be given more time. However, we've got to be realistic. This is a results-based business. Chelsea's results have been poor. Not only have the results been poor, but the performances have been shoddy. Players in interviews, Mason Mount after the game yesterday, looks confused, looks as though he doesn't really know what he's being told to do. The players' heads dropped. You've got players like Hakim Ziyech yesterday who look as though they're kind of trying to sabotage Thomas Tuchel. And I literally can't believe this, to be honest. I've not obviously planned this video because you don't plan for your manager to be sacked. And Thomas Tuchel, I think he's got like a 62% win percentage. And when we look at this graphic here that I actually made because I was going to do a video saying, should we sack Tuchel? Why would we sack Tuchel? And is it too early to do so? And I'll give you guys what I thought was going to be the case. I thought we'd have given him about 6 more weeks. I thought we'd have looked to the World Cup. And again, I'm going to tell you why I think this could be a good thing afterwards, even though I'm not fully convinced that it is. I thought 6 more weeks would have been necessary. We're only 5 points off the top of the Premier League table. There are 6 games in already. There would have been time to turn things around. But I think one of the most evident things that we've seen is when you look at Tuchel's first 6 months in charge, we conceded, I think, 16 goals in the first 30 games of Tuchel's tenure, which is almost a goal every other game. Compared to the last 30 matches, or the last 6 months, I think we played 26 games, and we conceded 33 goals, which is more than double what we saw in the first 6 months. And the reason I'm so shocked about this is because we are used to managers being fired on the spot under Roman Abramovich, because that's just the nature of what Roman built. Roman built a winning machine. Roman built a system where he knew there were going to be funds pumped into the club, and if things aren't going well, the only way that Chelsea seemed to be able to continue to dominate filling up that trophy cabinet was to chop and change, hire and fire. As soon as things started to go, because we spend so much money on players, sometimes all it takes is a new manager with new ideas to come in, rejuvenate what is a talented squad, and then the cycle repeats itself again. Chelsea keep on winning, and under Todd Boehly, I did not believe this was going to be the case. I thought we were looking for stability. And I think now that I've started talking about this, I can't say I'm fully convinced that this is the right thing to do. I think a lot of fans will say, yes, this was 100% needed. This is 100% necessary, because look at the way you've been playing. Look at these results. Look at the embarrassment of some of these performances. And yes, it is on Tuchel, because Chelsea did become predictable. Chelsea have become stagnant. We don't know how to create chances. But the reason I think this may have been too early is because we've just given this guy 300 million quid to spend this summer, and he's gone out there and bought his players. And I think at this moment in time, I don't know if the favourite, Graham Potter is the favourite. He's a brilliant manager at Brighton, but is this too soon, Mr. Boehly? Have you just gone and fired Chelsea's Champions League winning manager too soon? Only time's going to tell, but I think based on recent results, this is a very defining day in the history of our football club, guys. And I think it's sad in a way, because Tuchel went from being the perfect custodian of Chelsea Football Club, a man who guided us and helped the connection that was almost destroyed, not destroyed in the sense of like it disappeared, but the connection that we had was really, really struggling to be maintained when Roman Abramovich had the club taken away from him. Chelsea fans were nervous. Chelsea fans were worried that we might not even have a flipping club if legal logistics weren't completed before certain dates. And then the way Tuchel conducted himself during that time was an absolute testimony to Chelsea and being able to build those bridges and to be able to try and galvanise the players on the field. We've had famous nights under the German manager. And I think at this moment, Boehly must have something up his sleeve here. And I think if we didn't lose last night the way we did, I don't think this would have happened. And I think over the course of the next couple of days, we're going to find out even more about, how long has this been in the making? If you look at Mason Mount's interview last night, the man looks lost. And again, Tuchel's interview as well. To be able to answer with, I don't know, that is not what we're used to from Thomas Tuchel. One of the things that you guys know I love about Tuchel is the way that he handles himself in interviews, the way that psychologically he answers questions in a way where you don't really give too much away, but he's also a very smart bloke. But I do think at this moment in time, history has repeated itself. And that history is that Thomas Tuchel has a history of being at a club for a year. By the second year, players start to get frustrated. If results start to not go in the direction of winning trophies and favourable outcomes for the team in which he's managing, then players start to drop their heads. There isn't any adaptation to systems that don't work. He's a stubborn manager. And we knew that. And I just can't believe this, to be honest, because I think it might be a bit too soon. And please let me know in the comments down below. This is obviously the biggest news since, the club was taken away from Abramovich. This is the biggest news ever right now for Chelsea Football Club because Graham Potter's the favourite. I've seen people been tweeting me the last day or so talking about Zidane, maybe Maurizio Pochettino, former Tottenham manager. I think one thing is for sure is we need new ideas at Chelsea. The current style of play wasn't making the most out of certain players. We've got quality players at our football club, and so many of them have been playing out of position. And as a result of that, results have been poor. Players are looking around on the field wondering what their role is. When Chelsea go down, heads drop to the point where we're getting unacceptable results on too consistent of a basis. And this isn't acceptable at Chelsea Football Club. So what this teaches us now is that Todd Boehly is very serious about one thing, and that is developing and continuing the successful era that Roman Abramovich left Chelsea Football Club with. We have got a rich history in the past 20 years of consistently competing and winning the biggest trophies in the game. And it looks as though what Boehly has seen from Tuchel in the first 7 matches of his reign as the owner of our club, that Thomas Tuchel is not the man to take us forward. So at this point now, as fans, as I said with Lampard, for me, this one, I'm not as sad because it's so raw after such a horrible defeat. And it's going to take me a couple of days to process this because I absolutely loved Thomas Tuchel. And I do love Thomas Tuchel. And only time is going to tell if this is the right thing for our Chelsea. Is it the right thing for our development moving forward as a club? Is there anybody better than Thomas Tuchel? As an elite level manager, you can't take that away from him. He's won the Champions League for us within 5 months of being our manager. Is this too soon? I don't know. I really don't know. Graham Potter's a great manager, but is he ready for Chelsea Football Club? And we don't want to be competing for Europa League mediocrity. I don't want to listen to that anthem. I want Champions League. I want to be challenging Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Tottenham, Man United for the Premier League title this season. But I will say this one thing. The fact that Boehly has done this now means whoever is bought in, there's no excuse. And if it goes wrong now, then it has to go down on the owners, because 7 games into a season, I think we've won 3, drawn 1, and lost 3. I think if it wasn't 3 games that we really should be winning, then I don't think this would have happened. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below, who do you want to become Chelsea's new manager? I want to finish with a thank you to Thomas Tuchel for giving me at least the best day of my life when we won the Champions League for that second time. I was a bit older than I was in 2012, so I was able to enjoy it that little bit more. I was absolutely hammered off my brains. So yeah, Tuchel is gone. Chelsea are managerless. Graham Potter is the favourite. Maybe Zidane, maybe Pochettino. I cannot believe this news. Thomas Tuchel is no longer the manager of Chelsea Football Club after Dinamo Zagreb 1, Chelsea 0. Thoughts in the comments. Come on, you Blues.